Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Vila,
I'm Benjamin Valier.
I'm Sammy Dokovic.
And I'm Dexter Fredenberg.
and today we'll be talking about and analyzing Wayfair from seeing their performance aspect along with how they've been doing their strategy over the operations of the years. The very first thing we're going to talk about is the importance of Wayfair. They entered an industry that was already developed, but they took a different approach and used e-commerce and technology to develop a website. They knew there was not many competitors on this sector, so they took advantage to sell their home goods in a different way to operate. They also took their strategy in a different way by using blue ocean strategy, what we'll discuss later on. But they also use social media and advertisement as their primary source of operations and getting exposed in the industry. They are also important since they have a large supply network because they are able to allow to sell more product for a less cheaper price for the customers. And lastly, it is important for new players to understand what Wayfair was doing. That way they can implement the goods and the bads and understanding what they can change to be successful. Next, we'll be talking about Wayfair's financial performances. So we'll be understanding in the past 5 years how they've been operating and seeing in more detail from their financial perspective and if they're being successful in making profit or not. Looking at their ROA and the ROS, we can see that they're not been performing very well in the past 5 years and were in the negative outcome. Although they were successful during the COVID time, since as you can see their ROA and their ROS was in the positive sector. This was due since the stay-at-home orders took an effect and many people didn't want to be exposed to the virus, so they stayed indoors and also the stores were locked down as well. So Wayfair took this advantage and became the primary company to sell home goods, and many utilize this to fix their home up when they're trying to work at home, but also fix it for their families to be more together. Uh, until it came out to 2021 and beyond, when everything fell again and Wayfair was performing back to COVID times or even worse, as many were going back to their normal lives and many of the stores were trying to reopen already again. From the previous side, it shows us a broad perspective how they've been doing over the years and how profitable they were. But looking at the stock price change, you can see pre-COVID times they were losing from 1 to 9 billion in revenue, also a negative 600 million in free cash flow. And when COVID occurred in their time, their sales jumped from almost to $2.4 billion in sales, their free cash flow going up to almost 1,000 million, and their net income going up to 200 million. You can see before COVID occurred, their stock price was very low and started to decline. But once COVID occurred and during that time, their stock price shot up since many investors saw the potential of many customers willing to utilize this website as to help them out in being less exposed to the virus. But after everything was trying to go back to normal, everyone or even the investors saw there was no much potential utilizing this website or company, so they start pulling out from the company and it went back to pre-COVID times or even worse, lower. Before a restructuring occurred, post-COVID, there was many sales occurring from 9 to 18 billion. But when the restructuring occurred, the CEO wanted to slash out almost 1,700 employees, as it said it wanted to save up to $280 million in this company. The reason why he wanted to do this is to return back to the core structure of the company as it was trying to slash out unnecessary staffing and keep in the more corporate level staffing itself as the results because they saw the very slow demand in furniture but also the uncertainty in the economy and wanted to make sure they keep as much cash and profitability to themselves. Looking at their current operations, they utilize a drop shipping strategy as they are the middleman of the operation. Since they have a wide spectrum of supply network, they don't own inventory at all, but they are a B2C relationship that promote the products from the supplier. That way the customers can see and potentially buy it, where they are fulfilling the transaction and notifying the supplier to send out the product to the customer. As for their gross margin, they only have a 27.5%, while one of their competitors, which are lower, have a 43% of gross margin. And looking at their advertisement spending, we can see that they almost spent up to 1.5 billion on advertisement. And in 2019, we can see they were surpassing 1 billion. So they've been increasing overall throughout the years. And every time they acquire a new customer, they've been losing $10 every time. In this slide, we can see the business model of Wayfair from the key partners all the way down to the revenue streams. This helps them to utilize and see the different areas of where they need to make changes or where they've been performing well, as this gives them a visualization of how their operation has been performing. Moving on to the ocean strategy, we can see in the red ocean that there are many competitors in the industry, such as Amazon, Walmart, Williams-Sonoma, and other kinds as well. They also try to beat the competition with physical location by strategically locating them, but also hiring a salesperson. This is not a good strategy, as if they obtain more property around the areas, the more they have to put on the cost and more they have to pay on the lease. As for the salespersons, it's not good because it peer pressures the customers, as sometimes the salespersons are based on commission and they keep on pushing them, which not results in best experience for them or to come back. Following is they do trends or follow trends, which results in low product variety. When a customer is trying to look for a specific thing, they cannot find it at all, since these companies do not have them in stock anymore as they rotate after the years and new trends are occurring. For the low cost trade-off, they are improving the value offering, but with them improving and with the physical stores and physically being there, there's going to be a higher cost for the customers to buy these products. On the other side, on the blue ocean for Wayfair, they took a different approach and they created a new market space in the e-commerce, as they develop a website to allow customers to feel free to buy whatever product they want without any hustle of the salesperson or the need to go to the store at all. They eliminate the obsolete technology in the geographic location, where the technology aspect of the utilizing the website is very easy to use and very smooth to operate. As for the geographic limitation, this is very low, since the customer do not need to go to the physical location or the company does not need to obtain any real estate to operate. As the website themselves, they can just fix the language barrier and they can optimize in different locations in the United States or across the world. As what they raise, there is a high traffic in different parts of the world. This results in better outcome for them and better profitability. And they reduce low prices and lower costs to operate. Since they're operating online, they can lower the prices since they don't need to operate physically, and the customers will be liking this since they have a lower price and better options for them and more variety as compared to the red ocean, since their inventory or the website can handle more of the product in store and the customers will be willing to go on these websites. As for the suppliers, they're seeing that they can utilize Wayfair as an opportunity to sell their products and make profitability, not for the suppliers but also for Wayfair.
After analyzing the strategy of Wayfair, we must analyze the forthcoming changes in their industry, as well as the conditions to support and impact Wayfair's strategies as well. The largest positive impact Wayfair has is that the furniture e-commerce industry is ranked top in terms of e-commerce sales in all industries. This shows that there is a healthy consumer base as well as a large demand for home goods and furnitures. We can see on the chart on the left that the home goods and furniture sector in the e-commerce, compared with other industries as well, is in the top 3 and is expected to grow about 22%. We could also see the chart on the right, the growth pattern of the e-commerce industry of furniture and home goods prior to 2024, as well as expected projections. We could see that this puts Wayfair in a critical position in an industry that is growing as the company grows as well. However, the largest impact on the furniture industry itself is the high number of competitors. We can see in the chart in the purple that although Wayfair, the small section in yellow, has a significant market share, it is still relatively small when up against all the other competitors combined. This chart is only segmented to the US market base, but combining even Wayfair and its largest e-commerce competitor on here being Amazon, them two combined still wouldn't make up a fourth of the e-commerce industry for home goods and furniture. This industry, including international e-commerce, makes the furniture e-commerce industry overall highly saturated with a difficult barrier to entry for new potential companies. This gives customers, however, more options to find products that they may like at different price points, but the heavy competition for these companies to be more appealing amongst themselves will increase. As the industry continues to grow, demand for furniture products will grow too. The main impact for such large demand is the large quantity of orders that will need to be fulfilled is also the increased shipping costs. Just last year, we can see on this chart in 2023, there were prices that were dynamic in the short run, but from year end to year end, it was growing at a constant rate. This highly impacts customers and the prices they will have to pay, as well as companies in the industry will feel the effects of the prices of their products too. This will impact supply chain revenue decreases and the time horizon for order fulfillments to be affected. There are factors, though, beyond the e-commerce that will have a major positive and negative effects on the condition of their strategies. The main feature will be technological innovations, social media growth, developments in AI technology, and evolutions of the internet will continue to assist the growth of the furniture e-commerce sales. Economic expansions and downturns, consumers will decrease discretionary spending when the economy is down on home goods, and vice versa effect when the economy is in a boom and more money will be available to them for them to increase their discretionary spending. Supply chain holds and delays, which are out of the hands of these companies, will heavily impact the demand and prices for products, as the time horizon for order fulfillment is delayed and order cancellations may increase too. Events can also have a main impact on order fulfillments, such as a few years ago, we'd had both the Suez Canal incident where shipment and goods were halted and delayed, which cost different industries all over the world billions of dollars, as well as COVID-19, which was unpredictable emergence, had a humongous impact on global markets and halted all industries around the world as businesses were struggling to survive. These are just some of the main impacts, both positive and negative, internally in the furniture e-commerce business, as well as outside of the industry, that heavily impacted Wayfair strategies.
Hey everyone, my name's Ben, and today I'm going to be analyzing Wayfair's competitive advantage. To start us off, Wayfair differentiates itself in the competitive landscape through its vigorous e-commerce platform, offering customers an extensive range of home goods directly accessible from the comfort of their own home. They also provide a catalog of roughly 30 million products tailored to the home region. Wayfair provides a unique choice and convenience, stockpiling a diverse clientele. Notably, the company demonstrates remarkable adaptability during the COVID-19 pandemic, leveraging its online infrastructure to meet heightened demands for home-related items effectively. Key to Wayfair's success is its established brand presence as a leading global home retailer. The company's strategic moves to restructure operation highlight its dedication to improving efficiency and boosting profits. Despite encountering periodic fluctuations in financial performance, Wayfair remains well-positioned to thrive in the competitive e-commerce landscape. Wayfair's expansive reach and strategic focus on specific segments in the home goods market enable it to effectively target niche audiences. By concentrating on areas such as home decor, furniture, houseware, and home improvement, Wayfair differentiates itself from competitors and captures market share. Continued innovation, operational enhancements, and customer-centric strategies will be pivotal in sustaining Wayfair's competitive edge and fostering future growth within the dynamic e-commerce industry. And this leads me to my next point, to whether or not Wayfair's strategy was successful or not. And I believe yes, it was. Wayfair's success hinged on its competitive advantage. Quantitative evidence I have to support this would be the revenue growth Wayfair experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. Their substantial increase in revenue, reaching $12 billion during this time period, reflects the company's success in capitalizing on increased demand. Wayfair also held significant market share ranging from 32 to 33% between 2019 and 2023. On top of these quantitative examples I just provided, a few qualitative examples such as brand recognition, customer satisfaction, as well as their ability to adapt and innovate are great examples for how the company was able to be successful even during some of the most financially difficult years in the past decade. And that concludes it for my portion of the presentation. Thank you.
Now we're going to discuss our recommendations concerning the changes being made to Wayfair's current strategy. So far in this presentation, there was some praise concerning Wayfair's performance. Overall, the idea of the business is solid, and it's competing in a great industry, which has been profitable and growing. But we need to take a hard, honest look at Wayfair's strategy and why it's not much use in the long run. Yes, the company has undergone big changes post-COVID, mainly massive layoffs, and these changes will absolutely lower operating costs. But this isn't a big enough change to fix the company's poor financials both before and after COVID-19, where the business has been operating at a loss. Wayfair is losing money, not just from costs, which is too high, but also it is losing sales. The e-commerce market as a whole is growing, but our report revealed that in the last 5 years, Wayfair's share of the market has shrunk 33.4% to 1%, which begs the question, what happened? In the same period, Amazon's total market share increased from 29.7% to 47.6%, and Walmart's from 4.7% to 50.62%. So Wayfair is losing its market, and it's not generating profit, while its main rivals are gaining both. The next steps will need to be big in order for the business to keep operating into the future. Keep the layoffs, but those are due to the increased hirings during the pandemic that are no longer warranted. But Wayfair is going to need to make a U-turn. Our first and most important recommendation is that Wayfair focus on the business diversification. Wayfair needs to move out of its furniture and household good niche immediately. With so many substitutable goods and strong brand loyalty to its competitors, Amazon and Walmart, why would customers purchase household goods and furniture from Wayfair? They can get nearly identical products from an e-commerce storefront where they're more comfortable and familiar because it's the same place they do all of their other online shopping. Wayfair must use its limited available capital to find different types of vendors, which will allow them to sell a larger variety of a product. Wayfair's asset column is low and depth is high, so in order to pull this off, they will need to perform market segmentation, which will allow the business to focus only on new products that have a high chance of selling in each of the individual regions it operates in and doesn't waste space, capital, or time. The business will also need to innovate, taking another page out of its competitors' playbooks. In this case, Amazon, Wayfair should introduce augmented reality for furniture so that customers can visualize the product in their homes before purchasing. These 3 innovations alone will most likely not be enough to save the business, but together they give the company its best chance. Should Wayfair not be able to change direction in time, there is always the possibility of forming strategic partnerships with its competitors. Leasing its facilities, such as its warehouse and fulfillment centers, could allow the business to continue on in a smaller capacity. Our rationale behind these recommendations starts with the business's strength, which is the market it operates in. As already explained, the e-commerce market is a great market with lots of potential. There's no need for Wayfair to operate in a different market. Wayfair's weakness is simply failing to capture consumers from this market while losing customers who are in favor of its niche, a niche that isn't as important as it once was. Wayfair's main competition are able to fulfill Wayfair's customers' wants and more. Wayfair is hemorrhaging money and customers. The business will need to make serious changes soon. Pandemics are outlier events that should not be counted to bring profits. With proper diversification, segmentation, and innovation, Wayfair should be able to recapture some of its lost customer base. This concludes our presentation. We hope it was informative. Thank you for watching.